Okay, another video on the elimination methods for solving simultaneous equations. This example is slightly more involved. In the last example we saw we had to multiply one of the equations. And this time that's not really going to work because there isn't a number that we can multiply. In this case, if we look, we've got 3x plus 2y equals 2, 2x plus 3y equals negative 2, and we're trying to eliminate the second, or the middle letter in this case, okay, the middle variable. Now, as I said before, there isn't a number that we can multiply 2 by to make it 3, or 3 by to make it 2. Well, there is a number, but there isn't a whole number that we can do that by. Okay? So, the way that we tackle this, the easiest way to do that, is to multiply both of the equations. Okay? Now, if we multiply the top one by 3, so when we multiply the 2 by 3, then that becomes 6, right? So we multiply the 3 by 2, and that also becomes 6. And this is quite common when you've got the 2 and 3, and you multiply by the 3 and then the 2 to make them both 6. That's quite a common example in simultaneous equations. So we're going to carry out these calculations, get 2 new equations, and then solve from there. Okay? Remember, our aim in the elimination method is to make the coefficient of the middle variable the same. Okay, it doesn't have to be the middle variable, but we're going to try and shoot for the middle variable all the time. It just gives you something concrete to work with. Okay, when you've got a concrete aim that's a middle variable. So for anyone else watching this, it's not in my class. I know it doesn't have to be the middle variable, but we're going to work with that just now. Okay, so multiplying by 3, the top equation, we have 9x plus 6y is equal to 2. No, it isn't. It's equal to 6. Okay, so 9x plus 6y is equal to 6. And we've done that, we're going to score out, because we don't want too many equations in the page, that's going to confuse things, alright? We've got this equation we're going to multiply by 2, so we've got 4x, and we're going to be careful this time. So 4x plus 6y is equal to negative 4. And again, we're going to score this one out when we're done. Now, if we look, we're back to the stage that we were in the very, very first tutorial, where we had identical coefficients in the top and bottom for the middle variable. Okay? So it's the exact same from now on, right? The only difficult thing we need to decide is whether we are going to add these together or subtract them. Now let's look. If we add, we have 6y plus 6y, which gives us 12y. We want to get 0, we want to eliminate the whole thing. So remember, if it's the same, we subtract, right? Same, subtract. So that's going to be plus and plus, that's the same sign in the middle, so we're going to subtract. Okay? So we do 9x take away 4x gives us 5x, and then we need to check this, remember, so 6y take away 6y gives us nothing, and then 6 take away negative 4. Okay, just be careful now, 6 take away negative 4, so it's 2 negatives, that's going to give us 10. Okay, so we've got 5x equals 10, nice and simple, x equals 2. So we're halfway there. So x is 2. Now, we're going to take x as 2, we're going to substitute it. Sub x equals 2 and 2. Right, okay, what equation we're going to pick? I've taken both of my old equations and made them kind of bigger, so I've made the numbers bigger, so I maybe don't want to pick these ones. That's just why, remember, we don't score this out in a way that we can't read it anymore. We can still read this one so we can see it. So it goes 3x plus 2y equals 2. Now that's going to work quite well, so we'll try that. So 3x plus 2y equals 2. That's a nice simple equation to substitute into, so we can still pick the ones that we've multiplied out. Okay? We can pick these as well, so any of these 4 will be fine, they'll all work, but we're just picking the one that's the easiest for us to work out. Okay, so putting x in here, we're going to have 3 times 2 plus 2y is equal to 2, so that's going to be 6 plus 2y is equal to 2. Okay, so we've got 2y, we've got a negative number here. 2y is negative 4. I'm going to jump over this black line here, so stay with me. Alright, so we've got y equals negative 4 divided by 2. So y is negative 2. Okay, remember I said before what I want you to do is take this solution this solution, put them together so that you can see the two solutions together, alright? Because they're usually going to be apart in the working. You want them to be together at the end. So we have x is 2, and y is negative 2. And we're done. So, I hope you can see that elimination method is really straightforward from like this stage. Okay? But it's getting to this stage where you've got to make the coefficients, the numbers before the middle term the same. It's getting here that's kind of the challenging part. Okay? So you have to think a little bit around what you're going to multiply by to get these two numbers to be the same. As I say, 3 and 2 is quite a common one when you have to multiply both. You don't always have to multiply both as well. Like the last example, sometimes you just multiply 1, sometimes you don't need to multiply them at all. If it's already like this, sometimes you multiply 1, sometimes you need to multiply 2. So you need to make that choice. Then we also need to choose here whether you're subtracting or whether you're adding, but if you check it carefully, that should work out alright. Okay, so remember, rewind to the back, or to the back, to the beginning, if you need to, and watch it through again for the solution. Remember to focus on these stages and make sure your working looks like mine. Okay, thanks.